You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mikey Hu. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from The Moose on the Loose. I hope that you had an amazing weekend. Actually, last week I was in Martinique, so having the time of my life while you still listen to The Moose and the Loose. So yeah, I recorded a bunch of episodes just to make sure that you got that series on the investment roadmap. So today we are finishing the investment roadmap. It's day 5. The last steps is to create a mock portfolio and then start investing. Finally, you get that conviction. So if you have missed the series, it goes from Monday to Thursday last week. So we went from having no investment rules, having a complete universe of thousands of stocks, all the way down to having a portfolio ready type of thing, like a list of like 40 to 60 stocks maximum. Then we discussed how to select companies on day 4. And today is all about creating that portfolio for you. So you may be still hesitant. That makes sense. You're on the fence. The market is crazy. There's always bad news. There's always volatility. There's always uncertainty. I get that. So the next step is to create that mock portfolio to feel a little bit better. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how you can invest your dry powder or your investment lump sum throughout time or right away. We're going to discuss that today. If you want more information about this series, I created a full guide that is called the DSR Roadmap. You can download it at dividendstocksrock.com/roadmap. All right, now, build a mock portfolio. What's the point? The point is, yes, it's going to take a little bit more time because you have to figure out how many shares you would buy for each of each stocks on your list. So probably doing some maths, not too much, but I mean, if you want to go like an ideal world, you would start your portfolio equally weighted. When I quit the bank in 2017 and I got my pension plan value, it was a little bit more than $100,000. I wanted to invest in about 20 stocks, so each position was about $5,000 each. That's the starting point. So building the mock portfolio will show you where you are standing. What I like about the tool that I've developed at Dividend Stocks Rock is I can see the global view. I can see my allocation, my ratings, my dividend diversification. I can see my dividend calendar, everything under one graph. So it's great. I have this complete dashboard so I can see where I'm going. And that's pretty much the point, right? At this stage, you want to invest, but you still have some doubts. And those doubts will be cleared once you have real information, once you know exactly where you're going. So that's the whole point of having a roadmap, right? So a few key points when you look at that dashboard. You want to make sure that your diversification makes sense. Maybe you got too hype on a sector, on too hype on like specific industries, and then you're overweight somewhere. So that's going to be the first thing to look at your dashboard, making sure that your stocks are well diversified across multiple sectors, because you don't want to get hit by one single market event that could crush your portfolio. The second thing is then you can look at the ratings. At DSR, we have the pro ratings, 1 to 5. We have dividend safety score, 1 to 5. They're not like life and death rules, but they're going to tell you a little bit more about the appreciation that we have for those stocks. So it's a good way to kind of like justify your selections, and at the same time, maybe do a little bit more research on 1 or 2 stocks that seems to not be liked by your favorite financial service or something like that. I mean, of course, at DSR, we make mistakes like anybody else. I don't have that pretension of like being better than anyone else. So it's just more about like looking at somebody else's perception of those stocks. That could be interesting. Maybe you're going to do some additional digging, but overall, it's maybe just going to be just fine. So you will see how much you're going to generate from that portfolio, the expected dividend growth rate. So it's going to build up your confidence. It's going to like make you want actually to press that buy button. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to get excited about those new stocks. They're great companies that will start generating dividends for you, work for you. Finally, passive income, right? And then that's going to lead you to the ultimate step of the roadmap: invest your money. Personally, I'm a big fan of just taking that lump sum and investing it all the way down in not in a single day, but because sometimes it could take a few days or a few weeks, but as fast as possible, one shot. Why? Because financial literature told us that if you invest in any day, it's always better than to wait. And I don't know what's going to come up next month, and I frankly don't care because I invest for the long run. Now, you're going to tell me, but Mike, it's all great financial literature. I understand what you're saying, but I don't want to be the guy who invests and tomorrow morning the market starts going down for the next 6 months. I don't want to be the bag holder, and I don't want to feel stupid about making such a bold move, such as investing like $10,000, $100,000 in one single shot. Totally get that. So I do have an approach for you. There you go. I have another technique. So if you don't want to invest in your mock portfolio in a single day or in a single week, that's totally fine with me. There is another approach where you can feel good about gradually getting into the market. So if you're just saying, oh, I'm going to gradually get into the market, that's not a plan, right? It's almost wishful thinking. It's not clear. It's not measurable. You don't have enough metrics. So here's how you can do that. Before we go to that step, there are 3 things that could happen if you invest money today, right? In the following weeks, the market will either go up, either stay stable, or crashes, right? There are no other ways. It's either going to go up, being stable, or crashing. So if you invest now 1/3 of your money, if the market goes up, you're a winner. If the market is stable, you're still a winner and you get dividend on top of that. If the market crashes, not that great, but you have 2/3 of your money still waiting on the sideline. So the approach is 1/3 right now, and then you wait a quarter. So roughly 3-4 months before you invest again. So you get a set of economic data, you get a set of like earnings report. 3 months later, you invest another 1/3. So now you're 2/3 in the market. So as the market goes up, you keep on buying. If the market is stable, that's all good because nothing happened. And if the market is crashing during those 3 months, well, now you buy 1/3 with a lot more shares because you are entering in the market as the values are going down. So that's still good. And then you leave the last 1/3 for the next 3 months. Again, wait to get all the economic data and the earnings report for another quarter. So 1 quarter later, then you invest the rest of the money. So if the market kept on going up, well, you bought a bit more at a higher price, but at least you got the first 1/3 and the second 1/3 that was pretty good. As it was going up, you're already making money. If the market is stable, you're still making money. That's perfect. And if the market keeps on crashing, you're getting very, very close to the bottom. If you look at all the market crises, it's very rare. Not saying it's impossible, but it's very rare that the market is going to continue to crash for more than 6 months. After that, it does not recover right away, but there's a market fatigue. Investors, they just don't care anymore. They're just like, I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm just staying where I am, and that's going to happen for a few months, and then eventually more news is going to come in, and either usually the market will eventually go back up. It may take times, but there you go. You have bought at every single step. The key point here is to set up dates. So if you decide to go with the 1/3 approach, if you invest on May 15th, 1/3, this means that around August 15 to September, you must invest again. So pick up a date. That could be, okay, August, still summer, I don't feel like it. September 1st, I'm going to invest 1/3. Perfect. On September 1st, you don't look at what's happening on the stock market. You don't look at what's happening in the news. You just put 1/3 of your money into play according to your mock portfolio, according to your plan, and you move on. You wait another 3 months. That brings you around December. You selected December 1st because you don't want to get into the holidays with cash on the side, because then you may wait until January. And then in January, you're going to wait until the next news that are going to come up in February or March. And then you're going to wait forever. So again, set a date. The date won't be perfect, but it will give you confidence. And the most importantly, it will give you in the market. You cannot make money if you're not invested, right? So there you go. Once you're done, the only thing that is left is to monitor and tweak your portfolio. That part is also explained in the DSR roadmap guide that you can download for free at dividendstocksrock.com/roadmap. All right, Moose, that's enough for today. We're going to keep on talking tomorrow about another stock topic. Until then, don't forget to stay invested. Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to The Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy the show and do your due diligence after it.